Hello, everyone. I'm Patty Ann Brown, and you are in the strategy room. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton both had big nights in what's being dubbed as Super Tuesday 2. Clinton upsetting Democratic rival Bernie Sanders in contests across 4 states, and Donald Trump knocking out Republican Marco Rubio in the senator's home state of Florida, also picking up wins in Illinois and North Carolina. But Trump failed to best John Kasich in Ohio, and Kasich is vowing to stay in the GOP race until the convention. Meanwhile, we're still awaiting final results from Missouri, where Ted Cruz and Donald Trump remain deadlocked on the GOP side, and a similar scenario on the Democratic side. So joining us now from D.C., our Democratic strategist, Joe Lestingi, and Republican strategist, Ron Bonjean. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Governor Kasich said he's sticking around. Even if he doesn't get the most delegates overall, if he wins a few states, he could still win the nomination in a contested convention. Joe, what do you make of all this?
Well, the GOP doesn't want that. Contested conventions do not bode well for the nominee. So Kasich's push to stay in the race is what the establishment wants. Now that Rubio is out, the field is definitely whittling down. He's the last governor standing. Congratulations. Unfortunately, he needs some 102 or 103% of all the remaining delegates to actually get the nomination on the first ballot, and that's a big problem. Contested conventions are not good. There have been a few on the GOP side in history, and only a couple people have emerged as the president after that. The Trump supporters, they are going to leave the party if he does not get this nomination, because they're so fervently behind him. So it's really interesting to see what's going to happen. I think the last contested convention was in the 70s for the Republicans,
yes,
and they ended up coming up short that election.
Yes, with Ford and Reagan. Well, Senator Marco Rubio, meanwhile, exited the race Tuesday after losing Florida. Ron, how will this narrower field affect the race?
Well, look, this is now a two-person race, really. I mean, this is populist voters who are supporting Trump because they're very angry versus the voters who support Cruz because they believe in values conservatism. And so, you know, even with Kasich in the race, he's really an outlier for a contested convention. He could win maybe a couple other states. It's not surprising that he won Ohio, considering now this is his 13th straight win in Ohio, and he's a very popular governor. I don't know if he'll win any other states, but, you know, he has a shot. But look, this is between Trump and Cruz, and it's not going away anytime soon. I don't think Trump's pulling away just yet. But, you know, he does have some momentum.
Yeah, he's close to pulling away, I'd say. Let's move on to the Democratic side. Joe, has Clinton all but locked this thing up?
Yes, she has. She'll get closer and closer to the magic number to win the nomination fairly soon. The reason why this fight will continue, though, is because of the way Democrats, the way we allocate our delegates, is based on proportional vote. Republicans do it a little bit differently. They do split up states, but they don't necessarily do it by the percentage of votes you get. They do it by congressional districts and other things.
Right.
So Bernie will always be, Senator Sanders will always be sort of on the fringe, but he will not be able to get the nomination. This thing is locked up. Hillary's messaging has started to shift, and it's good for her to be able to do that this early, to start appealing to moderate voters. And the best part is, the foils on the other side, just like Ron laid out, are either Trump or Cruz, which gives her great contrast and pretty solid polling numbers right now to make the argument for the fall. So it's going to be a fun summer, but the Republicans are just going to have to duke it out a little bit longer.
Yeah, as Joe said, Clinton already making that shift, taking on Trump in her victory speech on Tuesday. Ron, what might we see in a race between these two frontrunners?
Wow, that would be something, huh, to see Trump versus Hillary Clinton. You know, it's hard to say. We know what we can get from Hillary Clinton. I mean, we've seen her compete before. You know, I wouldn't be, and she reflects the establishment, and I think that's a challenge for her. Trump, on the other hand, it's hard to see what we're going to get because you know, in my opinion, he is a chameleon. You know, I think right now he's appealing to center-right voters. He could very well shift to appeal to center-left voters in 2 seconds because what he says is a hard truth can shift over to something completely different later on. And the fact that he schooled Hillary Clinton and President Bill Clinton over the Monica Lewinsky issue in response to her calling him sexist was quite amazing. So I think we'll see a lot of fireworks. The big guns are going to come out on either side, especially from the Democratic side. I think they're going to really launch a negative campaign against Trump. and that would make sense.
Yeah, going to continue to be interesting. Ron, Joe, thank you both so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And for complete coverage of the 2016 race, go to foxnews.com. I'm Patty Ann Brown. Thanks for watching.